Ra 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 ra. R.A. Ra 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 ra. R.A. Ra ra ra. Pałeczka. To wygląda jak od prysznica. Cześć, witajcie, Andzik z tej strony i zapraszam do kolejnego odcinka Outer Worlds. Idziemy teraz do tej wioski, czy miasta. Zobaczymy, jak wielkie to jest naprawdę. O! Ja bym to nie nazwał jakimś wielkim miastem. Musimy uważać. Au! Witam państwa. No... Z nieba przyleciałem.
Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend.
Ja tu jestem przyjazdem. Moja kapsuła.
You talk too pretty for a marauder. Most of them just grunt and yell.
A,
Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices.
niska cena. Tak, tak.
And being vigilant. Don't want to get blindsided by some corpse-chewing marauder come stalking out the
No to na
shadows.
Aha, potrzebujesz ochrony. Na tej planecie to widać, że trzeba mieć cały czas gana ze sobą. No nie ma nic ciekawego. Czy mogę coś od niego się dowiedzieć?
Oh, worse. Unemployed cannibals. You ever seen a marauder hold down a job? Or put a stake into society?
Właśnie, to możemy zrobić.
Well, if you're gonna go headhunting, talk to Constable Reyes back in town. She pays for marauders by the finger.
Jak widać, nie mogę nie wybrać tych dialogów, więc dawaj.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You
Ha.
don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
O, trochę więcej do wyboru. O, możemy zakończyć rozmowę. O właśnie, to
Definitely
potrzebujemy.
not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Robię co chcę, no.
Got a knack for being discreet like? There's money to be made, long as you keep your nose clean. Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see?
Strasznie. Korporacje rządzą.
4 workers still haven't paid up.
O,
Phyllis,
świetnie.
Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Nie wiem, czy chcę to robić, ale dobra.
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad. Yeah?
Sporo można pogadać.
You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to play.
Ćwoków.
But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, brave in the wilds.
Jeszcze może się spotkamy, zobaczymy, no. Aha, tu jest cmentarz. Ludzie płacą za groby. Co jest bez sensu, bo mógłbyś sobie gdzieś tam się pochować. Dobra. Ukradnij przedmiot, no właśnie. Mógłbym ukraść, ale ludzie mnie zobaczą pewnie. Można kraść, tak. To jest taki Morrowind w pewnym sensie też. Takie tam inne gry. To jest RPG. Mógłbym ich zastrzelić i wtedy zacznie się masakra. Lepsza niż w fabryce konserw. No sam wyglądasz jak konserwa. Tak, tak, wiem. Czyli mógłbym wszystkich pozabijać. Dobra, dopiero zaczęliśmy tutaj. Może kiedyś tak spróbuję całą grę przejść, zabijając każdego. Zanim wejdę do miasta, to się chciałem rozejrzeć. O, można otworzyć. Kurczę, no to jest to właśnie, to lubię w tych grach. A, wywalony z chałupy ktoś został. Czyżby to był bar? O! Kurde, jakieś żabojady, no. Okej. Pilnowały tego baru, czy co? Zhakuj, tylko że nie mam jakiegoś przedmiotu. Okej. Może znajdę. Ketchup? Nie? A, to! Tu też coś potrzebuję, więc nie, ale to możemy zhakować. Uuu. A, i możemy odblokować drzwi na górze. Jasne. Jak coś, to spauzujcie. Jak chcecie poczytać. No zobaczmy, co na górze. A, to tylko balkon. A, można skakać. Świetnie. Idziemy do miasta, bo tylko chciałem coś sprawdzić. Poza nagrywaniem to mogę tam pomieszać. A tak, to idziemy do misji kolejnej. Co my tu mamy? Propaganda. Tutaj jest ten. Puszkownia. Halo? Wezmę wasze papierosy. O, sprawdzimy sobie rejestry. Nikt nas nie goni. Tu nikogo nie ma w ogóle. A może z tym gościem muszę pogadać? A, winda. No dobra, idziemy.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Tak, tak.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer.
O.
Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Mhm. Zamieniam się w słuch, tak.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Praktycznie, tak.
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Tak, tak.
I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations. It's our problem, not yours, but I'm asking for your help. If those workers don't come back, Edgewater is going to collapse. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
Nic nie
Of
obiecuję.
course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean,
A, towarzyszka.
you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
No dobra, weźmiemy.
Great. I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Najlepszy przyjaciel trofeum. Towarzysze. Zyskujesz towarzysza. Wsparcie w walce. Pojemność ekwipunku. Jasne. Czy mogę ci coś ukraść? Wiem, że można ich okraść też, nie? Nie, nie mają nic po to, żebym nie próbował, rozumiem. Idziemy.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. Hey, mister, can we talk?
No.
Can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters. On account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Oczywiście, ja tak myślałem.
Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from.
Aha.
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
Wiadomo. Gościu jest po prostu typowym korpo.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
O przestawieniu wajchy w elektrowni. Gdzie go znajdę?
About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. Their neighbors. Kin. And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe he found something that'll help. It's just an idea. That's all.
No na pewno można spróbować im pomóc i namieszać w mieście. To jest RPG, to jest świetne. Jest sporo rzeczy do wyboru. Jest kilka zakończeń na pewno.
The mission's on the east side of town. You can't miss it. On account of it being the only clean thing.
O! No zobaczymy. Oczywiście będę neutralny jak się da, a potem najwyżej będę dokonywał decyzji. Sprawdźmy tego pastora. Będzie oczywiście więcej rzeczy do wyboru, jeśli chodzi o dialogi i tak dalej. To jest najczystszy budynek? O la 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 la.
Clean.
O wy, księżulku.
Yeah, and Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Już księżulek
Just
daje
tagging along,
porady.
Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
To chyba raczej by wiedział. Jakich porad duchowych udziela?
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do?
Naprawę. Odcięcie.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
Ciekaw jestem, czy nie ma możliwości zdobycia gdzie indziej tego do mojego statku? Ani od nich, ani od nich? Bo w sumie i miasto go potrzebuje, i dezerterzy. Może jest jakieś inne jeszcze gdzieś.
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
Tak.
The marauders I met when I ventured outside the walls might agree with you. Bastards snuck up on me while I was dutifully hunting for a banned book in a collector's library. Barely escaped with my life. But you see, one of the reasons I transferred here was to get my hands on that heretical text. If you managed to acquire it for me, I'd pay quite a handsome sum for the book.
Ksiądz z kaską, oczywiście. Przyzwoita, powiadasz?
What? No, I don't want to burn it. I would never. I mean, I just want to. Look, I have a very simple goal here. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
To raczej spalić, nie?
It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it.
Poszukam.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Zawsze dodatkowy quest. Mamy teraz kilka celów. Mapa. Tu możemy szybko się przenieść. Miejsce lądowania. Tu jest cmentarz. Obóz maruderów. Tutaj jest zadanie. No dobra, lecimy na zewnątrz. Plakaty jak z lat 50. O! Świeci słoneczko. Ładnie! A, bo tu jesteśmy z tej strony. Trzeci poziom! Kryliśmy nadbrzeże. W tej grze by się przydały pojazdy w sumie. Jakiś koń, czy coś w tym stylu. 600 metrów, to niedaleko. Przejdziemy się tędy. Połazimy po planecie. Teraz jak gram w tą grę, to przypomina mi się No Man's Sky. Tylko że tam nie ma jakiejś takiej fabuły specjalnie. To jest multiplayer i można po planetach chodzić. Budować bazę i tak dalej. Zbierać zasoby, zabijać zwierzaki. No tak, pierwsze chałupki. Popatrzcie, tak będzie wyglądała pierwsza chałupa na Marsie, nie? Elon Musk zbuduje. Nie żartuję, ale zawsze pokazują taką propagandę, że będzie ładnie, jakieś szklane budynki, a tu popatrz, same takie metalowe cholera wie co. Ale tutaj możemy pomyszkować, mi się wydaje. Evicted. Dawaj. Dobra, możemy trochę postrzelać. Czekaj, wezmę pałeczkę. A ty jesteś strażnik miejski? Nie, ty jesteś maruder. Bum, bum, bum. No co jest? O, wiem, widzę, bo trochę straciłem energii. Już? O, już? Dobra. Dobra, lecimy dalej. Możemy tu otworzyć? Już tak nie będę nagrywał tego, jak zwiedzam każdy budyneczek. Ominę to. Ale tak, żeby pokazać mniej więcej. To są chałupki. Jakieś przedmiociki. Skrytki. Z bronią i tak dalej. Może, nie wiem. Ale mamy wytrych. No widzisz, o to chodziło, o. Hakowanie, wytrych, wiesz, włamywanie się. O, i jakaś fajna strzelba. Co to jest? Karabin szturmowy? Myślałem na początku, żeby zwiększyć poziom trudności na trudny. Ale już prawie bym zginął teraz. Także zostawię sobie na tym. Może być ostro później, zobaczymy. Wow. No trudno. Dobra. LMG jest najlepsze, ale ty też już prawie nie żyjesz. Przepraszam. To moja wina. Tu jest tyle rzeczy do obejrzenia, chociaż do tych budynków się nie da wejść. Tu się chyba da wejść. O, piesek preriowy. A, jednym ciosem zabiłem go i nie wzniósł alarmu. Spoko. Teraz go młoteczkiem. Pozabijali kolonistów. A tutaj robaczki głupie. Znaczy gady. Ucieka. Nie będziesz uciekał, robaczku. Pszczór. Też nazwa. O! Skąd on się tu wziął? A byliśmy cicho. Chyba. Spacer's Choice. Kurde, można tu się nachapać. Lecimy dalej. Chyba wybuchowe. Dobra, chodźmy do tego laboratorium. Botanical Lab. Już dziki. Okej, pogadajmy.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. A geo what? Look, plants ain't my purview. You're better off asking after Adelaide. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
No dobrze, dobrze.
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Wszyscy mamy jakieś problemy. Mnie niedawno wystrzelono w kosmos.
Explains why you're still yammering on at me. No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. I've crossed off my share of marauders. This ain't about them. I go looking for Zoe, I leave the camp undefended, seeing as I'm the only one of us who knows her way around a gun. Hence my dilemma.
No dobra, pomożemy.
It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Could do without the gallows humor.
Spoko.
I'll tell you what I can. Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already.
W takim razie będziemy musieli się włamać.
Could be. Dangers aplenty out there. No telling why marauders would steal somebody like Zoe. Got no useful skill as far as I can tell. Marauder gang just moved into the districts a little ways east. Their numbers are growing. Gotta come from somewhere.
Byłem w jakimś obozie i załatwiłem paru maruderów.
Well enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does.
Czyli musimy znaleźć Stefana. Świetnie.
She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. What is it?
No, wystarczy. Tu się może sporo dziać, a w tym momencie będę kończył. Trochę za dużo łaziłem po różnych okolicach, także od przyszłego epizodu już będziemy bardziej się streszczać. A jakieś przeszukiwania i tak dalej będę robił osobno może. Tak, żeby tylko historię pokazać i questy. Dziękuję wszystkim za oglądanie. Tutaj był Andrix. Do zobaczenia. Cześć!
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, the frontier of space. Well, at least it was until the corporations bought it, branded it, and started selling it at ludicrously inflated prices.